What up, everybody? Okay. All right. Am I coming in okay?
Loud
All
and clear.
right.
Gucci.
Cool. We're back another week, another episode of the Opps SportsCast. It's April 15th, episode 61, getting ready to be put into the books. It's starting to feel nice outside. I don't know about you guys. It hit 93 degrees over here on my dash in my car. It
What?
is something spectacular as we're starting to shift from the winter weather. Things are starting to heat up in the NBA. We'll be talking a little NBA. And MLB season is underway. We'll be talking about some of the early rumblings in the NBA, excuse me, in the MLB, as well as we got a lot of an assortment of topics this week. We're going to be talking a little bit hockey. We're going to be talking a little bit NFL. I'm sure whenever Zeke comes around to join us, we might be talking a little bit of Masters golf. So we got a little bit of something for everybody this week. Make sure if you haven't already that you like and subscribe. So hit that like button right now if you can, and make sure you join us in the comment section. Let's have a lively discussion and lively debate, fellas. But first, let me introduce the starting lineup that we have here with us today. Immediately to the side of me,
It's Josh from East Side.
Zeke couldn't be here, so shout out to Zeke, who will hopefully be here. Big Zeke, who will hopefully be here shortly. And last but certainly not least,
Welcome everybody. It's Dave in the cut.
and of course, yours truly, Chris Peasy in the building,
Yes, sir.
Fellas, how's everybody doing this week?
Good. Doing good, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
93-degree weather though. We as I'm speaking right now, it's pouring rain out over here. And
Oh, is it really?
Rain and thunder. Rain and thunder.
yes, sir.
Well, that's no bueno.
Said overnight that we had rumblings of the earthquake that took place in I think it was Quebec or Montreal.
Really?
Yeah, they had a 4.0 earthquake overnight, bro.
Man.
4.0. Isn't that something serious?
Yeah, man. They said that we felt the tremors here, but the kid was asleep. I
I
didn't
was
feel it.
knocked out. Yeah.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Wow.
All
Wow.
right. Well, fellas, there was definitely some rumblings around the NFL, and we'll jump right into the first topic. Why don't we throw that up on the screen here? There was rumblings around the NFL because of some pictures that were taken of a certain NFL reporter, a beat writer, Diana Rossini. She was caught in a very flirtatious picture with NFL head coach Mike Vrabel of the New England Patriots, both of which are married, not to each other. And that is the reason for the drama, which led to her subsequent, not firing, but I guess enough drama had boiled over where Rossini decided to step down from her position with the Athletic. And, you know, in her statement, she says she stands by a lot of her reporting. But I mean, it obviously calls into a lot of question of how she's getting her scoops. And so, in light of this, discussion has arose on whether or not, Diana Rossini is getting a fair shake, given, it's hard, according to her, for a female beat writer in this in this sport
Yep.
to be seen as equal. Fellas, do we have any kind of remorse or sympathy or what have you, given the situation she finds herself in? I'll start with you, Josh.
Yeah. Remorse, I can't say. I mean, I find this equivalent to that CEO that was caught on the Jumbotron, hugging up on some lady, and caught mid-act, loving on her. And it's like you put yourself in these positions when you're out in the public eye, especially when you're you're well known. You're in the business of media, you're in the business of sports, you're in the public eye. Everybody's looking at everything you do. And people are looking when you don't think they're looking. And it just didn't look good, honestly. And like you said, to the point where she resigned herself, and I don't think it's coincidental. Um, but I'm more surprised that Vrabel hasn't taken as much backlash, because, like you said, he's married also, and I mean, it takes two to tango,
Yeah.
and he was in the pictures. And I was watching I forgot to start the timer here. Sorry, my bad. I was watching a press conference of the a Vrabel interview or a Vrabel press conference for the Patriots organization, and they're asking him about what are some of the potential moves, and is it true on the rumors of this and that. AJ Brown, um, somebody was talking about Mike Evans. I mean, there's so much there, right? And Vrabel answered saying, we're looking at every best possible solution. It's too early in the game to talk individuals. He was like, right now we're focusing on schemes. We're focusing on the players that we do have, and potential players to come in. He said, and we're looking at their character. And everyone in the comments was like, this guy's talking about character when he was just caught, midday at some posh hotel poolside lounge with this woman who's not his wife, holding hands and hugging up. And so I'm surprised that it's only gotten to the point of like individuals in the community rather than actual backlash from his peers and the organization itself. So it doesn't surprise me, but it's hypocritical.
Dave.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to go a different angle on this one. Yes, two married individuals who aren't married to each other, in a pool on a some kind of deck, doing handsy things, interlocking fingers, hand things with each other. Now they said that there were six people total in this hot tub or pool shot, whatever. Does it, to me it doesn't matter, man. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and bash two people who clearly made a bad choice. We're all human. We all do things. We're not perfect. That's why God's grace covers us because we
Yeah.
need it. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I want to go at Diana Rossini a little bit here because every time Diana Rossini is on a show and this woman opens her mouth, she has to take an opportunity to somehow take the topic and use it to bash her husband or to belittle her husband or talk her husband down. She's talked about how she had an interview before she got married, the night before she got married, her interview, or the day before she got married, or whatever, her interview, she had an interview scheduled with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, everybody knows Jimmy Garoppolo. The ladies love Garoppolo. And she made a comment about Garoppolo asking her, is she sure that she wants to go through with it? And she was telling her mom or somebody, here I am, the night or whatever before I'm getting married, and I'm with Jimmy Garoppolo doing this interview, and she's talking like she was feeling this dude. Then on other shows, she's talking about what a simpleton her husband is, and she's saying this to other men. And to me, when a woman belittles her husband in front of other men or to other men, that to me that just speaks one thing. You know what I'm saying? And I literally have like no respect for Diana Rossini, no matter what she did, if she did it or if she didn't do whatever with Mike Vrabel. How she how she is a married woman and she constantly is putting her husband down in public and on talk shows where she's the only female host and there's just nothing but men around. And to her comment about it's hard for women reporters, my take on that is she's not making it any easier for female reporters when she's going on these shows. Forget the pictures and stuff, because the pictures to me, like, it was a, that's a moment in time that I don't we don't know what happened with that. But what we do know is there's plenty of tape of Diana Rossini going on shows talking down on her husband and make her husband look like a simpleton and making him look like a punk.
Mhm.
We see that. We know that exists. And so for me, I've never really I've never really rocked with Diana Rossini because she's that loudmouth, hoarse voice, like she screams all the time. You know what I'm saying? She's got that gravelly, annoying gravelly voice, like she all she does is holler and scream all the time. And then she's sitting there, she's belittling her husband to these people that are on the panel with her. And so, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, man, but I'm just like, that's completely whack to me, man. And her resigning, probably a good thing she resigned, because she literally has set women reporters back so far with her conduct. Not and again, not just the conduct with the photos, but the conduct about if you don't want to be married to the person, don't marry him. If the dude is that bad, why are you with him? You know what I'm saying? But I've literally never seen, to me, the staple in the business from a female reporter standpoint is Hannah Storm. Hannah Storm is not only a journalist, she's not only an analyst, but she's also a director. She's directed some pretty good segments. She directed a thing on ESPN, Shaq and his old coach from LSU, Shaq and Dale. It was called. It was amazing. She's setting these ladies back decades with this type of behavior, man. So that's where I'm at. PZ, I'd like to know how you feel about it.
Um, yeah, to me, I wonder from a sports standpoint if that any of that bleeds over to the NFL season to the New England Patriots. Um, is my thought on the sports contest. New England Patriots made it all the way to the Super Bowl. I don't think they have it in them to make that kind of run again. I think the AFC was really weak this year, and I wonder how this will have an impact on that locker room because if you know someone is more than comfortable of saying something to your face and lying behind your back when he's willing to do that with supposedly the most important person in his world, he's going to be willing to do that to you. And how much are you going to be able to trust the words that he says, that are coming out of his mouth? Does that ruin his credibility in the locker room, or is it just kind of par for the course? Obviously, that remains to be seen. But I do think that ultimately that may hurt him a little bit. But we'll see how much of an impact that has on on the NFL team. As far as what your take was interesting, Dave, because it's like maybe it's a situation where it's unevenly yoked. A lot of times we see these successful females that they get to a certain position, and I think it was like an old Chris Rock quote. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, where he was talking about how someone like Jay-Z could anyway marry a girl from McDonald's, but you'll never see a woman like Beyonce marry a man that works at McDonald's. You know what I mean? And it's just talking about the disparity in that if you're a man, you're not looking for that woman to be financially superior to you. That's not something that's a concern of yours or something that you would respect that person more if they have that kind of background. But for the women, that is something that's important to them. And so the fact that you said that, hey, when they were about to get married, she was starting to ascend in her career. It could be a situation where she just feels like she outgrew him, right? She became something more than him. And unfortunately, a lot of women, you can't let that happen as a man. Like, and I'm not putting that on him, but it's just a reality of the situation. Like, whatever you got to do, you got to climb another ladder or something, because it's hard. You lose that respect and that authority in the household for whatever reason, wrong or right. And I think it's wrong. When your woman makes more than you, and it shouldn't be that way, because they're all for, hey, let's go for equality. But the real ones know what's happening here is that you lose a lot of that. You lose a lot of that glam. You lose a lot of that appeal. You lose a lot of that worth. When she looks at you and she's there, like, you know what, I don't need you. I can do it without you. You know what I mean? And I forget.
Oh, it was getting good. PZ froze up.
Look at that freeze, man. That freeze frame is dope.
Man, maybe that was the spirit working.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He'll be back though.
Fellas,
There he is.
Yep, you got you back, PZ.
You good? We get you good?
Uh-oh.
I wonder if he can't hear us.
Might not. Let me see if I can switch us back to the main. Can you hear us?
I'm back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was funny. It was like, did you guys go out first or did I go out first?
No, we were still here, and all of a sudden you froze, like in time. Like,
Oh, that was weird, because, like, on my screen, the timer was still going off and you guys were gone. So I'm there like, oh, this time you guys left. But I guess I was wrong.
it was you.
It was me.
you
Okay.
were
So,
cooking, man.
anyways,
You were cooking,
I,
man. Keep going.
I'll just try to finish my thought on that. But um, I was talking about how the comedian was talking about how, when a man gets acquires wealth, he thinks to himself that this is great. Now I can support and take care of a family, right? I can have a wife, I can have the kids, I can do it all. Women, when they get wealth, they're there like, I don't need no man. I can do it all by myself. And it's that disparity in the way of thinking that can break up a lot of marriages, right? I don't know why that is. But it's embedded in a lot of women where they're like, well, I don't need you to take care of me. I don't need to be dependent on you, right? And so they're not going to prioritize the family. They just prioritize their own happiness, and maybe that's what Diana Rossini is going through. I mean, she doesn't have a superstar husband. She's the more well known of that relationship. And when you don't have that same kind of respect and shine, she goes out looking for it. You know what I mean? And it's the wrong thing. It's a sad thing. It's an indictment of our society. But we do see this over and over again. And so I agree with you, Dave. I think she definitely is setting back that community, the female sports writer community.
Let me just bounce off of that real quick because, and I want to kind of get this straight because I don't want the ladies out there to feel like they can't be successful and they can't be in a situation where they possibly do make more money than their spouse or whatever. I look at it like this: the attitude, the female that has an attitude that I can do it by myself, I don't need a man. To me, that just shows that they were raised to not value men. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the role model that they had in their father, it wasn't worthy of them showing respect. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we were put here to coexist. Like we need each other. Men need women and women need men. Regardless of that's biblical. Regardless of what their
Yep.
wallet may say. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all good until they come home one night and there's been a thunderstorm and the power is out and they don't know how to check the breaker panel. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? There's we fill roles in the home. So whatever Diana Rossini is going through, there are plenty of women that are higher level than her that have husbands that aren't as popular as them. You know what I'm saying? I look at like Sage Steele. Sage Steele was blowing up at ESPN, man, before all the political stuff happened. Her husband was not very well known, but when her birthday showed up, he would bring the children up to their kids and up to the studio to surprise her for her birthday and stuff like that. You should see, if you can find any video of it, you should see the value that he brings to her, because you could see it in her face and in the tears and in the happiness that of having him do that. So for me, I just think it's these whoever these women are that feel like you don't need a man or whatever. I just think it's just because you've gone through something in your life where weren't valued, and that was instilled in you, and unfortunately you might end up checking out unhappy and lonely. So
I mean, if I could just expound a little bit on that without getting too deep and biblical. I mean, we are a Christian sports podcast, right? So
yeah, man.
I just look at it from the viewpoint or the vantage of this is from creation, right? When God made Adam and said it was good, right? And he gave him responsibility and he had typical relationship with Adam, where he would come and visit him in the garden, right? But he recognized that Adam needed help. He needed a helper, right? And I can't remember the Hebrew phrase, but basically the word for woman is helper, right? A helpmate, or one to come alongside him and be a companion. And so humanity, since sin entered the world, has gone away from the original design in which God created the marriage, right? And the marriage is not the marriage is a covenant that resembles or looks like the covenant that we have between humanity and God, or are supposed to have between humanity and God in the original design, right? And that's why Paul says in Ephesians that wives are to submit to their husbands as to the Lord. But then he doesn't stop there, because that's where a lot of women get caught up. They're like, "Oh, submissive? I'm supposed to be submissive?" Like they don't like that word. But then look at what he says afterwards: "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church." How did Christ love the church? He died for the church. He
Shit, man.
humbled himself, right? He was not guilty of sin, but yet he made himself as sin for his bride, for his church. And so there's this hand washing, there's this um, response from both of us, right? Just as the wife is supposed to submit to the husband as to the Lord, the husband is supposed to love the wife as Christ loved the church and serve her and provide for her and wash her in the word and in truth, right? And that is a view, a beautiful picture of the church, us, the bride. We're the bride of Christ, guys. We're a bride in this situation, and our job is to submit to Jesus, our husband. It's our job. Sounds weird, but it's our job as the bride of Christ to submit to Him. And so, although it seems as though women get like the short end of the stick, that's not the case. That's not what the text is saying. It's saying, listen, there is a structure, right? Just as each human being has to submit to God the Father, has to submit to Jesus Christ, it is so the same way in your worldly covenants. The original covenant, the marriage covenant, where the wife submits to the husband and the husband loves the wife and humbles himself and provides for the wife and recognizes her as the weaker vessel. That's just how it was designed. Weakness not in the form of she's incapable of everything, just weakness in her design when it comes to her position in the covenant. That's all it
Okay.
is. And
Yeah.
so reality is, it's just the world we live in, man, full of sin, and and operating outside of the design in which God intended it to be.
Yep. Amen to that, bro.
Yeah. Facts, brother. Facts. Amen to that. I don't know how deep y'all want to get on this, or if y'all want to keep it moving.
Keep it
Yeah.
rocking.
All right. Um. All
NBA.
right. Well, why don't you throw up the next one on the screen then?
Dope. We're going to the NBA.
The melodrama.
Oof.
Did you guys get a chance to see that game or any of the highlights from that game yesterday?
No.
No,
Oh man,
Ozio.
that was a crazy game. Matter of fact, they were saying that there was a period of the game where Amazon Prime that was airing the game actually lost the feed for a few minutes
What?
during the overtime. But the drama of it all was, I mean, well, first off, LaMelo snapped, absolutely went bananas in that game. I think I actually posted it to the Opps Facebook page. Make sure that you like and subscribe on that if you haven't.
Yeah.
But I think I posted it to the Opps Facebook page. My man absolutely balled out, but no pun intended, right? Absolutely balled out. But the controversy was where Lamelo Ball was driving to the hoop. He felt he got fouled, fell to the floor. Bam Adebayo grabs the rebound, and as he lands on one foot, no problem, except LaMelo extends his hand, and it looks like if you slow motion replay it, it looks like he intentionally swiped the one foot that landed underneath him, causing Bam Adebayo to land on his tailbone and have to leave the game. A game in which the Charlotte Hornets ended up winning in overtime by 1 point
Hmm.
on a LaMelo game winning layup. A lot of people are saying that he should have been uh, kicked out of the game following that play, which happened really early on. But LaMelo ended up finishing with like I think it was over 40 points, or it was I know it was over 30. Or maybe I'm thinking about the Rockets player that finished over 40. I know LaMelo had a fantastic game. But did you guys get to see the trip?
No, I'm trying to find it right now.
You saw it, Dave? I think you're muted.
all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
He definitely tripped it, man. Josh, maybe you could bring it up, man. I don't know. We don't need the volume on it, but
Yeah, I'm trying to
maybe you
find
could
it.
bring it up.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. But I mean, I tell you what, at the end of the season, LaMelo Ball ended up finishing second in three-pointers made this year to his teammate, rookie sensation Con Knippel, which many people believe should be the rookie of the year over Cooper flag. But I mean, it was the first time I think since Steph and Clay that two teammates finished 1 and 2 in three-pointers made for the season. So they got a really young, exciting core there in Charlotte. It's going to be interesting to see if they can take that next step now, having defeated, the Miami Heat, ensuring themselves at least one more game as they try to secure that 8 seed. Do you have the video?
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Hang on just a second. I gotta get it. Make sure it's gonna fit here. I wish I could get it to come to the top. There we go.
All right. And so this is the video of the trip, right? Here it is. Yep.
Let me get rid of the banner here.
Right now for the Miami Heat. Wow. Their athletic trainer, Wes Brown, has made his way over.
Yeah, man. Watch his left arm. Right here.
And that was Ball who took his leg out from under him.
A lot of people are saying that look definitely intentional. And some people are even pointing back to an earlier matchup between the Hornets and the Heat, in which LaMelo reached his arm out after another supposedly foul call and tried to trip Bam Adebayo as well in an earlier matchup. And so some people are saying that this is a trend, maybe that he's a dirty player, while others are saying it was inconsequential or, maybe unintentional. But drama, fellas.
It's awesome, man.
Drama. But for those of us who grew up in an earlier generation where they used to do a lot more than sweep the leg, right?
Yeah.
The Charles Oakley, generation of punch you in the face, throw you to the floor. The Vernon Maxwell generation, where little man running up into your face, threatening to fight you every single play. This ain't nothing. This is old school basketball, and of course, you hate to see people get injured, but I mean, hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It adds to the intrigue.
Who would have thought that LaMelo Ball, out of the all three brothers, would be the top dog? Who would have thought, man?
It seemed possible. I mean, the kid was like, it was sensational every time that you would see him hoop. He had a ton of talent, ton of
I mean,
talent.
they always say it's the baby brother, man. So,
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Z.
for sure. What up, Zeke? Big Zeke in the building, fellas. All right, and so Doc Rivers, another team, another disappointing managerial experience, and another time being fired. Guys, I know a lot of people thought that the Milwaukee Bucks should have never let go of their championship winning coach. And I can't remember his name now. I'm so sorry. It's been a while. But they let him go, thinking that Doc Rivers could get him to that next step. And I mean, at the end of the season, we were accusing the Milwaukee Bucks of tanking. That's
I
how
mean,
bad they were.
wasn't that guy in the front office, or did they let him go from the front office? The coach that you said that won the chip with.
I don't remember what happened to the. Maybe we can look that up. But I mean, Doc Rivers has now bounced from uh, the Boston Celtics when he had the big three, the original big three, right? Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, won a championship with them.
Brad Stevens was it? I think Brad Stevens, is that his name?
No, no, yeah, that's with the Celtics.
Yeah,
We're talking about the so
we're
yeah,
talking
well,
about
yeah, Brad Stevens he moved to the front office of the Celtics. We're talking
yeah,
about Milwaukee Bucks.
right.
Mike
Then he
Budenholzer.
Mike Budenholzer was the coach that
Budenholzer,
won the
Budenholzer.
championship
A
with
lot of
that.
people think they should have not have let him go. And they started, giving into the demands of Giannis Antetokounmpo, saying that he wanted help. And every time they tried to trade for help, they just ended up getting worse and worse. They let go of Holiday, and they thought they were getting better by bringing in Damian Lillard. He didn't play any defense, and he was constantly injured, and he was basically unknowingly on the last leg of his career. Um, Man, is this? You want to say it's a fall from grace, but I mean, man, we've been watching Doc Rivers spiral ever since he won that championship. Am I wrong, guys? I mean, when has Doc Rivers ever been a good coach since then?
It's been a while.
Do you think another team gives him that chance, or buys into the hype one more time?
Nah, man, I think he should just go home and wait for the Hall of Fame to call and just call it a career, man.
Yeah.
I think the whole Buck situation, I think that tainted any chances for him to catch on with somebody else. But I mean, I could be wrong. You get some owner out there that has a young roster, and they want to make a splash and be able to have the coach have the ear of the locker room. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't see it happen. He didn't do much with the Clippers. He didn't do much with the Celtics after the big three left. He didn't do much with the Orlando Magic back in the day. He didn't do much with, the obviously now the Milwaukee Bucks. He just disappointed every stop of the way except for one season. It's just his team's constantly underachieved. Definitely didn't do much with the Sixers.
No, absolutely not.
So
Yeah,
what's crazy is they have him on the top 15 coaches of all time.
which is crazy because I mean Dave just said wait until the Hall of Fame calls, and I'm there like, wait, hold up,
Yeah, but
Hall of
the Hall of
Fame?
Fame, it's part of his both NBA career and then his coaching
He
career.
wasn't a Hall of Fame player.
He
Nah.
was not a Hall of Fame player. I remember watching him play with the Knicks, and he was bench. coming off the bench.
Bro, I go back further because I was a Hawks fan back in the day. Now, Knicks has always been my team, but I'm a Dominique Wilkins dude. Neek is my guy. And so the Hawks were my second favorite team. I used to watch every Hawks game. And Doc Rivers, man, he was a nice little point guard, but he wasn't, you know,
Wasn't a Hall of Famer though.
nah. I mean, when you got Randy Whitman over there shooting the lights out, you know what I'm saying, and you got Neek doing his thing, and Kevin Willis, they had a nice little squad over there, and they were always going up against the Bulls. So, but Doc, he was a nice little point guard, but he wasn't all that.
But now that I'm burying Doc Rivers here in this in the Ops Sportscast here, I just got this weird shiver down my spine that if the New York Knicks do not perform well this playoffs, it would not surprise me to see him calling Doc Rivers, come back to your hometown, save us. And it's just, it would just be a nightmare because he is not going to take the Knicks anywhere. But I digress. Let's jump to the other side of the NBA paradigm here. Agent Wilson signs a 3-year supermax contract, richest in WNBA history. I believe it's a 3-year, $5 million. Am I correct, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's official yet, but that's what everybody has been reporting. It's official.
Yep, it's official.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, we're talking about a league where the players were like scratching and clawing for 200,000, and to go from that to 5 million, kudos to her.
Yeah, let me not be silent on this, man. I really want to give some respect to Asia Wilson, man, because she literally has been carrying the league for the last, 4 or 5 years. Everybody's kind of been sitting back, watching the new blood come in, the young blood come in, and they want to crown these people the next big thing, and all she's done is be the first female to win the MVP 4 times consecutively. Am I right about that, Zeke?
Yep.
And what a you know what a what a big statement coming out of CBA negotiations, and she leans in, man, and she gets a supermax deal. So I just think that it's kind of it speaks volumes about the tenacity of the female players, no matter what people have been saying about them, no matter the jokes and whatnot, and all of the tongue in cheek comments about the league, how they don't make any money and blah blah blah. It's nice to see a player like Asia Wilson get paid, and hopefully it'll continue, and it'll continue growing. Because honestly, the last thing, as somebody who loves sports, the last thing I want to see is any sports league collapse, especially for financial reasons or because it's not being managed properly financially. So I think I think it's a great thing.
Well, I mean, they're gonna need to promote the heck out of her, right? I mean, they got to make sure they make their money back. 'Cause this is going to be a big season for the WNBA. See if they can pay those kind of bills that they're going to be now. A lot of eyes going to be watching to make sure that they're not taken out of the NBA pockets now. So we'll see
Asia
what
Wilson
happens.
brand in and of herself. They don't need to work hard to promote her. I mean, real recognize real, and basketball fans know and recognize who Asia Wilson is. So they're not gonna have to work hard to promote her.
All right, you guys want to jump to? Oh no, let's stay on NBA. Let's talk a little. Do you got the little the standings there?
I don't have them. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick.
Okay, I'll tee it up here. NBA playoffs are getting ready to get kicked off underway. We were just talking about the playing games between the Hornets as well as the Heat. We got a couple matchups going on right now between the Orlando Magic and the 76ers in a game that will decide who gets to play the Celtics, and then the loser will go and play the Charlotte Hornets to see who could get that final eighth seed in the East. But let's get it start with the East. And we'll just I guess we could just pick our winners. I don't know if you guys want to do that, but we got the Pistons in the first round taking on either the Magic, the Hornets, or the Sixers. I think it's probably going to be the Hornets personally that make it there, but I don't think it matters. I think the Pistons clean whoever they face in that first round. They seem like a really, really deep and complete team. Um, that's my pick for the first one. And then you got the second matchup that you got the Cavs and the Raptors, which is locked in at the number 4 and the number 5 seed. Whenever you can throw that up, throw it up on the screen, Josh. Um, I think the Cavs, personally, fellas, make it past the Toronto Raptors. And the only reason I struggle with this is because on the Cleveland Cavaliers is none other than James Harden. We all know what playoff James Harden is, fellas.
Charmin soft.
Charmin soft. So I don't know. That was the only reason I had any kind of hesitation because I'm there like, yeah, Cavs are a much better team. And I think Donovan Mitchell is enough to get them past the Hornets, or excuse me, past the Raptors. But man, if there was ever a spot where an upset can happen, it might be that one.
Didn't James Harden throw a pass out to the wing to his teammate and then ran and jumped out at him and played defense
Try
on
to
him?
close out. Yeah.
Yo, he passed the
That's
ball to him and then ran out and tried to block the shot, bro. What's going
He was like,
on?
bro.
wait a minute, under on my assist total.
That's James Harden for you, bro. Oh my goodness. Um, and then Knicks better beat the Hawks. That's all I'm gonna say. They better beat the Hawks. They better beat the Hawks. um,
So what are we
but
doing? Here we go. We got the Western and Eastern Conference, like you said. Thunder to be determined. We got Lakers and the Rockets, Nuggets and Timberwolves, Spurs and Blazers, and then in the Eastern you got Pistons and to be determined. Cavs, Raptors, Knicks, Hawks, Celtics, and the Sixers or the Magic.
any of you guys got any surprise upsets in that first round
Mm.
on the
For
eastern
me,
side of the
the Hawks
bracket?
because Trey Young isn't there anymore, so I want the Hawks to win.
Oh, you just because you don't like Trey Young?
Well, I don't like the Knicks either, but I think I hate Trey Young more than I hate the Knicks. So
Oh, okay, okay.
the Hawks.
Yeah, he's in
Left the Hawks?
DC now.
Huh?
Because he left the Hawks?
Yeah, I can't stand Trey Young.
Ooh.
So as long as he was in Atlanta, I wanted them to fail. But now that he's gone,
Ooh.
I would love to see them win without him.
Ooh.
Why the disdain?
I don't know. Why do you hate Duke?
Because it's just easy to do, man.
Yeah, it's easy to hate Trey Young. It's
Who
easy
did
to
Trey
hate
Young
Trey
play for in college? Z?
Easy, man. They make it so
Young.
easy.
Oklahoma, I think.
Oh, so that's not the reason you hate him then.
No, I just think he was overhyped, and I didn't like his attitude. And every time I saw his face looked very punchable.
Oh,
Mm.
that.
Yeah, he
Okay.
played for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Um, let's see. In the Western Conference, we're gonna have the Thunder probably facing well, who are they gonna be facing? I mean, it remains to
Spurs.
be seen.
The
The
Lakers.
Spurs are coming out of the West. The Celtics are coming out of the East. Boom.
Ooh.
That's going to be the
Bold
final.
That's
prediction.
it, huh?
Yeah.
Be the final.
I hope the Warriors get that either. Well, I hope the Warriors get the eighth seed just because I want to see Steph Curry in the playoffs.
Mm.
I mean, he's must see TV whenever he's on the court. But I don't think it matters. I would hate to see Steph Curry get mopped.
Let me say
And
this real quick. I love the Knicks,
Don't have
but
it.
I know they're going to disappoint us this year.
oh, for sure they are.
Here is my take for the NBA Finals, right? NBA Finals. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Lakers,
Boo!
What?
Lakers,
Lakers.
Lakers, Pistons. Bronny
What?
James pulls up from
Stop.
between half court and
Stop.
Yo,
hits the game series championship winning shot.
I have
That's
never
my
heard
take.
such a hot take from
And
David.
then he pauses the video game and goes makes himself a
Yeah,
sandwich.
yeah.
That is epic stuff.
Wow.
Yo,
Never
that's how much I
expected that to
care
come
about
from
the
me.
NBA playoffs this year,
It
man.
was all a dream.
That's right. That's right. But you know what? Everybody is talking about is the matchup in that first round because you talked about the Lakers. Lakers don't have Luca in that first round. I don't even think they got Austin Reeves, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't even think they got Austin Reeves. This is the LeBron James versus Kevin Durant showdown.
It's gonna be the Bronny show. I'm telling y'all, man. This kid's gonna go ham.
I think you're trolling right
I'm
now,
gonna make
bro.
a ham sandwich. That's about it.
Go ham. Talking about a glazed ham on Thanksgiving or what?
Absolutely trolling.
Honey ham.
Absolutely trolling.
Sheesh.
That's wild. That's wild.
I'm
But
taking
I
it
mean, it's
all the way.
the Western Conference is where it's at though, because you got a lot of teams that are really talented. Thunder, Nuggets. You would think the Rockets would be better. I mean, I know they were talking smack about the Rockets. I think last year they were the number 2 seed, and they added Durant, and they fell to the number 5 seed. And so a lot of people they're like, bro, Durant better pull them out of that first round against the Lakers.
Josh, you gonna let him skip over your boys like that?
Nah, it doesn't even matter. Just
No, I
don't mess
mean, if anyone's gonna stop the Thunder, I think the Spurs have the best shot to do
It's
it.
Wemby on an
Don't the
island.
Spurs have a winning record against them this year?
I think they do.
Yeah, I think the best chance of stopping the Thunder from getting another title is probably the Spurs beating them to the championship.
Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 games this year.
Wow,
Spurs have the number of the
that's
Thunder.
pretty
They're a
definitive.
mismatch problem. They're a mismatch problem for that team.
Yeah.
Wendy's a mismatch
They need
problem
a
for
mismatch
everybody.
problem for the
His name
league.
is Wemby. I was gonna say.
But they got the unique ability to match the Thunder's youth and energy and
Yeah,
defensive tenacity. And as much as I think the Nuggets, if the Nuggets end up playing the Spurs, that's a tough matchup for the Spurs. I'm not 100% sure the Spurs get by the Nuggets. I want to see the Spurs play the Thunder because I think the Spurs get by the Thunder. But that's a matchup problem, the Nuggets.
when
So
you have a
it'd be some good.
guy who's 7'17" and he's doing yoga in ways that nobody else can do, that's a problem. That man is on a mission.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of young talent in the NBA, but it's a shame that we can't talk more glowingly about their product because at the end of the season you have these tanking things, and less people are watching it to the point where there's literal conversations, I believe, that MLB ratings are higher than NBA ratings.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Now that might change during the playoffs, I would imagine. So I think people start tuning in during the playoffs, but it's just sad how much the product itself has deteriorated in the NBA.
for sure.
Hey, Peasy, did I hear you say you didn't have a problem with what LaMelo did to Bam?
I didn't have a problem with that.
Is
No,
that
I
what I
didn't say
heard?
that.
Dun dun
I didn't say
I
dun.
that.
heard you say I'm here for it or something like that. Like, oh, back in the day, they did more than just sweep the leg and blah blah blah. And
Oh, I would say I'm all for that kind of
Level of
tough
competition.
basketball. Yeah, the tough basketball playing. I don't think that he should have injured Bam, or I don't want to see people get hurt. But I like seeing some hard nosed basketball. It would have been dope if
you
that
thought
would have
that was hard
happened.
nosed
And
basketball?
no, not really, to be completely transparent with you. But it would have been dope if he would have been able to get up and continue playing, and you know what I mean. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's not really that kind of hard nosed basketball. You're right about that. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If it creates a little spicy rivalry, I'm all for that. Bad blood. I'm here for that as well. I like that in my sports. I like kind of Kobe Bryant era, whereas they're like, bro, you're not on my team no more. Don't talk to me. Don't look me in the eye. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
LaMelo got to realize what goes around comes around. You
Melo
got a lot
always
of people
injured
in the
anyway.
league.
He ain't
You
got
got a
nothing
lot
to
of
fear.
people in the league who respect Bam more than they respect him. So he gonna get some get back. That's what I'm here for.
Mm.
Zeke woke up and chose violence, man. My goodness. He talking
It's
about
been a
hate.
long week.
Like
It's
they
been a
coming
long week,
after
man.
LaMelo. He talking about how, man, I can't stand. I want to punch Trey Young in the face. Zeke,
I
you all
didn't
right
say I
over there,
want to
man?
punch. I didn't say I wanted to punch him. I just said he has a punchable face.
You
That's
are
exactly what
rather
they said.
spicy this fine evening. What?
That's right.
I do recall a certain someone saying, "What's his name? Halliburton had a punchable face in last
Yeah.
year's playoffs."
That's
And
that's facts. That's facts. But then again, to my defense, it was right after the Knicks lost, and so I probably would have said anyone on that team had a punchable face.
ah,
Oh man, good thing we didn't do that podcast before I went to see the Indiana Pacers play the New York Knicks in Indiana. If anyone would have saw me out there, it might have been on site.
yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's keep it moving. That was fun. We got a couple more topics that we definitely wanted to get into. Let's throw up the what?
MLB.
MLB. That's right. Okay, so Jackie Robinson Day. Zeke, why don't you take it away on this one, brother?
Yeah. So on this day back in 1947, Jackie Robinson made his major league debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers, um, becoming the first player to break the color barrier that had been established many years earlier. I recently found out he wasn't the first black player in Major League Baseball. There was just a significant gap in between him and the previous player, but nevertheless, it doesn't diminish the achievement um, of breaking that barrier and opening the doors for a lot of players to come through and showcase their talents. Um, so yeah, on this day every year, um, baseball recognizes Jackie Robinson. They have all of the players wear the number 42, kind of styled in that Brooklyn Dodgers number um, font on all their jerseys. Um, yeah, and I, I was kind of thinking about this earlier. I don't know. I want to get your guys' take on this. I don't know if they should have all of the players wear the jersey number. Um, I know on Clemente Day, Roberto Clemente Day, I believe I want to say it's September 21st, only because he played the position right field, which is number 9 on the scorecard, and his number was 21. So I think that's why I remember it being September 21st. But they pick a player for each team to give them the option to wear that number. Like I know that number is very huge in the Latino community because of who wore it and what it represented. Jackie Robinson Day started, I believe Ken Griffey Jr. wanted to wear um, Jackie's number on this particular day one year, and then like the league adopted it league wide and made everybody wear it. I think it kind of like takes away from, I don't know. I think they should have like one player, whether it's one player designated every year or just give somebody the option to rock the number. Mm, Just something I thought of earlier. Figured I'd get your guys' take on it.
I don't personally. I don't have a problem with it, Zeke. I think the more people that wear it, it draws your eyes um, to it more because like the casual fan may not know a certain player's normal jersey number on the team, but a casual fan that is just tuning in be like, bro, why is everybody wearing 42? You know what I mean? And so like it kind of highlights it in an even greater way. So I don't
Yeah,
have
I
a problem
mean,
with it personally.
I get what you're saying, but I know like MLB does a good job with like all the graphics and stuff, and everybody has a pregame celebration recognizing Jackie. So a casual fan tuning in, they'll know what the day is without necessarily having to see everybody wear it.
From
It's
what I
just
go ahead, Zeke.
what if I say what you gonna say.
So I was watching when they first started doing this. It took off. Everybody was excited. They really were able to make it happen after Mo retired because Mo was the last player to wear 42 like every day. And I was watching a special and they were saying that they didn't require they didn't require everybody to wear it. It was an option, right? But then all the players started doing it because what they were doing was they were taking their game worn jerseys and they were auctioning them off for charity, and they were taking the proceeds and they were giving it to the Jackie Robinson Foundation.
Hmm.
So that became a thing. Like their game worn jerseys, they were all collected. So if you notice, there's never you won't see any debut patches on Jackie Robinson Day on those jerseys. If they do, it's gonna be a kind of like a act of Congress type of thing because the jerseys are being autographed by the player that wore it and they're being auctioned off through their charities. So that was the last thing that I heard about the why everybody was, aside from everybody wants to, they want to celebrate Jackie Robinson, but it's a great way for their individual foundations to be able to donate as a foundation, as a player, as a foundation to the Jackie Robinson Foundation. So that's what I saw. That's the story that I saw. I was watching them talk to the commissioner. They were interviewing him, and it was on Fox Sports, and they were interviewing him about that. This was years ago.
Man, look at that birthday. He would have been 107 years old today. Jeez.
Yeah.
Or January 31st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But so talk to me a little bit, right? Because you guys mentioned something about Jackie Robinson, right? Understandably, like him setting the precedence and breaking that color barrier is a feat in itself, if you will. Even though maybe he wasn't the first um, African American player to join the league, but the first one to really take it to the next level, right? Looking at he's got a Hall of Fame career. He was an MVP Rookie of the Year, 7-time All Star, a World Series champ, and had a batting title one year. But I always heard you guys talking about this WAR, and you were like, "Man, that WAR isn't looking so good." Expound on that a little bit. You know, understanding the rest of
War.
the stats. Expound on that WAR a little bit, and like explain how maybe that WAR and that number, although it may not look good, does or does not
Uh,
mean.
I wouldn't say that the war, that's a respectable war number right there. War just stands for wins above replacement level.
Mhm,
And so, like, the average second baseman, if you will, at
mhm,
that position would be, 0 wins above replacement. That's your average. Having Jackie Robinson on your team throughout his career got you basically 64 more wins than having your average run of the mill second baseman. And that's respectable. 64 wins better is a lot. That could be the difference between winning your division and losing your division multiple seasons.
mhm. Okay.
So that pretty much sum it up, guys. Or you guys want to throw in anything else on top of that?
I mean with Jackie, you got to look at the fact that his career wasn't as long as a lot of other these players who have a bigger WAR number. So I know we went through the whole all time team. You were seeing much bigger WAR numbers. So
Yeah,
you're looking at this one and it's
140s.
like, yo, 664 WAR. That's kind of whack. But I mean, you look at his average per season. He was averaging over seven WAR per year.
Mm,
So yeah, he only played 11 years,
mm,
and if he had gotten a shot earlier, that number would be a lot higher. So
gotcha.
Jack was definitely that dude.
Yeah, it's a cumulative stat. So the longer you play, the longer your war is going to be.
Sure, absolutely.
Or, well, at least ideally.
Your average has better chances of being that number has better chances at being greater based on the years
Right.
played and your win average.
And I mean, you got there's a such thing as negative WAR too. So a lot of players, their numbers were hurt by hanging on too long.
Wow.
So I mean, you look at their peak years, like the peak 5 to 10 years of their career, to see where those numbers uh, really accumulated, to get a good idea of just how impactful of a player he was.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um, let's jump to the next topic in the MLB here. Throw that back up on the screen. Kevin McGonigal gets a 9-year, $150 million deal. Guys, this is just something that I think we're going to continue to see. When you got a young stud talent in your organization, MLB teams are getting wise, they're getting smart. How do you keep that guy in your organization for a much longer time than you otherwise would be able to? You bet big. And sometimes that works, and sometimes you end up with a dude for like the Rays, where I forget what's the dude from the Rays.
Wander Franco.
Say it again.
Wander Franco.
Wander Franco, where you give him a really big contract and he absolutely, you know, I don't want to say the,
He has off field issues.
yeah,
The man was talented on the field. They bet right. They just didn't know he was into those shenanigans off the field. That's where they got mixed
right.
up.
So sometimes you win those, sometimes you lose those, but when you got these can't miss talents, I think this is just something we're going to see right from now on. I mean, especially those smaller organizations that don't believe that they're going to be able to, lock up their guy. I think it's something that the Mets should probably do with Nolan McLean and some of these other really young, talented pitchers that we're seeing come into the league right now. I mean, if you got someone that you know is going to be good for a long time, you lock them up.
Well, they already promised $800 million to Soto, so they really can't do too much.
And so we'll keep it moving on this. MLB investigating DR academies for corruption. Dave, you want to expound on that?
Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Dave.
My bad, fellas. I just saw the title, man, and I didn't really do too much research on this. I was wondering if any of you guys knew what was going on with it. But I do want to say this: if it's happening, if whatever they're doing there is happening there, you don't think it's happening in other places too? You don't think it's happening? So my question is, we know that the Latin players are the players that get the most shine when it comes to the international money, so to speak. International, Puerto Rico not being international because they're U.S. territory. However, we know that the most money is being spent in the DR as far as you know f- uh, talent, shopping talent, hunting down talent. I need to know, and I understand that a lot of the talent comes out of the DR, and I get it. My reason for wanting to talk about this was more about it was less about the what's going on there, because we can't even get proper birth certificates and stuff like that out of the DR. So how do we expect to be able to track money and what's going on down there as far as these academies are concerned? I think when they, put these academies down there, there was some understanding that the old heads would be the faces of these academies and would, make sure everything was on the up and up. because I remember when they first started opening them, they were talking about the players, like Pedro and Nelson Cruz being highly involved in in these academies and whatnot. But my question is, we're talking about so much about why, and I think I brought this up before. We always talk about why the sport seems to be dying with the youth of America. Like, why are there less and less American superstars in the game, and you're seeing more Latin superstars? And for me, it points to this type of money. Now, someone I read somewhere they said like these academies can get between 150 to 300 million dollars in support. That's a lot of money. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever been to the DR before, but you've been there before,
Nah.
man. The DR is a poor country, man. It's and 150 million dollars. Just let's start at the bottom. 150 million. Come on, man. Like, it's a lot of money, man. And
Hmm.
if they're playing games with this money and money's disappearing and all of this stuff, like, it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. And again, I don't have all of the details, but I read a little bit about it. But like I said, my bigger issue is I'm always going to wonder why we can't. I don't want to say take the money away from them, but why can't we like take an equal amount of money and put that into youth baseball here in the states?
Yeah.
I don't know, brother. I feel like the states get enough money for baseball. I mean, the schools are overfunded as it is at every corner. Um,
Yeah, but that's schools, bro. That's school budget. I'm talking about like leagues like the league I grew up in. I grew up in playing in 40-1 league, right? And I don't even know if 40-1 exists today. But the fact that I have to say that, the fact that I have to say I don't even know if 40-1 exists today, and I played in that league, right? That league should still be going on. MLB should be putting money into leagues like that to make sure that they sustain over the decades, and they don't. But then we
yeah,
wonder why. Well, we don't have homegrown talent. We're not going to see another Mike Trout again, and blah blah blah. I digress because we got Kevin McGonigal and we got Connor Griffin.
Connor Griffin, J.J. Weatherholt,
Yeah, I
these
mean, the
dudes are
list
coming.
it goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? But again, a lot of these guys, you know, if you look at these stars, like I think Mike Trout is going to be the exception to that because Trout is a Jersey kid, right? But the kids that play in warm weather and play out west, they get to play all year round. A kid like Trout, Jersey kid, it makes him even more spectacular that he's the star that he is today because he didn't play year round. You know what I'm saying? So you take that money, man, and you create facilities for players to be able to play year round. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
But
my grandson goes to the what's the place out in the sports garden with
yep.
the batting. They practice on the indoor soccer fields and stuff like that. They got the batting machines and stuff in there. They can do that all winter. But how many cities have that? How many towns have that? You know what I'm saying?
So
And I
let me
feel
throw
like they go and dump that money down in these other countries, man. And they really should be dumping that money, and they should be fighting what pockets where the pockets of talent are in the states, man. And they need to start investing that money here.
So, of the 948 players on opening day rosters this season, 153 hailed from the DR and Venezuela, two countries that consistently produce the most foreign born talent in MLB. Almost all of them arrived there through the international system we're talking about, most notably Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna Jr., Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and Fernando Tatis Jr., four stars who have collected 17 All Star appearances and are now on contracts worth a combined $1.7 billion.
And they left Manny Machado out of there. Manny Machado adds another $350 million to that.
They got a lot of young stars that's seen on the WBC team as well. You know, Junior Caminero, all them boys. So yeah,
Dave,
Guerrero might
I'm
even be the dark
thinking.
horse with that.
I'm looking at the numbers while you're talking, and it kind of reminds me of when a lot of these jobs get sent overseas instead of staying domestic. It's cheaper to get product created overseas, like the shirts and the shoes and the iPhones. Like we've heard plenty of jokes from comedians how we don't want iPhones being made in the United States because we don't want to have to spend $6,000 for an iPhone. You look at the MLB draft, the number one pick, the draft bonus is 11.35 million. That's just for being picked. Like you don't even have to pan out. You
That's
just they call your
wild.
name first, you get 11.35 million right off the rip. Where you can go to a DR or a Venezuela or some of these Latino countries and you can give somebody a couple million and they're like, oh my God, I'm rich. This is the most money I've ever seen. It turns out to be an Acuna or a Soto or a superstar that you get for cheap for the first few years of his career, and then you let him go sign big money with the Yankees or the Mets. But you get him for a lot less than you would have to pay a top draft pick who grew up domestically and went to college and spent the 3 years in college and now he's the number one pick, or he went and shined in high school and gets drafted overall. Now he's the number one pick. You automatically got to pay him 11.35 mil. So I see what you're saying. I wish they would pour money into these leagues. I'm not just gonna stick with inner city leagues. I mean, I played in the RBI program. I also played at 40-1. If you went up to those fields today, it would break your heart because they're all overgrown and unloved. Um, I go up there every now and then to hide and eat my lunch and just reminisce about the good old days. Yeah, um, I wish they would dump that money into more homegrown leagues, but they're not gonna because the return on investment is probably bigger in the Caribbean countries.
They can't really
all
control the
right.
flow of money, when it goes overseas unless they have a representative kind of controlling that. And so I think that's probably part of it because the corruption is so deep. Because reading the article that ESPN wrote about this, Dave, they open it up with a heartbreaking story of a kid who
Yeah, got
apparently went to one of these academies, came home, and was
collapsed.
A few
peeing
days
blood.
later, he was
Yep.
gone.
Yep, a few days later, and they're saying it was because he was pumped with steroids, right? And again, this is allegedly, we don't know the truth, but you can only assume it.
Because there's no regulation, man.
There's no regulation.
Hey,
There's
we
nothing.
need more money. We need money, money, money.
Yeah, but also too, like you put the money in the hands of organizations that really don't have like the player's best interest at heart. They have it just as like you guys have said. Oh my gosh, this is the most $1.5 million is like gold. Like that is generational come ups for them. Whereas like $1.5 million, people buying houses. PZ's house is $1.5 million probably. Like what?
Yep.
Well, that's but,
Yo, that
but
thing,
like
that
that's
capital
like
he
Let's
lived in,
it's
man.
pennies now today in the grand scheme of things in good old America. Whereas like there's still countries stretching the U.S. dollar a long ways.
Yeah. It's really sad, man. It really is. MLB is saying, they acknowledge that this system is broken and they're looking at an alternative of just going to an international draft. And if they do that, it would just, instead
Yeah,
of, the whole putting your name on an academy, this is an MLB academy in a country where there's really little oversight. You don't even really know if if a kid's birth certificate is real or not, that's a huge class action liability situation for MLB. And
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's gone on as long as it has, man. I really
Yep.
am.
Yep.
It's crazy. All right.
Well, let's save some time to complain about our favorite teams, Dave. Shall we?
Yeah, man. Let's do it, bro.
The New York Yankees and the New York Mets are both embarrassing New York. And you put globally. I don't know why you put globally on there.
Bro.
Um,
Because they are, man. Like, it's just the whole world can see it, man. That's why. That's why it's globally. They're like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if, you know, if they were doing these shenanigans just, in spring ball and whatnot, man. But this is the regular season. You got Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is officially the longest tenured Yankee manager to not win, not even win a World Series, bro. It's like, come on, man. I think it's just a shame, man. It really is. We got Ben Rice, man. This kid is such a talent. He's been so hot this season. Benched the last 3 games. Why? Nobody knows why. Well, yeah, actually, we do know why. Because Aaron Boone had a good feeling about the person that he played in front of him. We won on a wild pitch walk off last night, and we got lucky tonight. We were down 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth, and we ended up scoring 2 runs on a base hit to the gap to left center, and we ended up winning that game. We very easily could have got swept by the Angels, man. Very easily. Mike Trout was
Mike
destroying
Trout had a
everything in
resurgence,
his
man.
path in this series, man. I think he had 3 homers, and he had 2 last night, and I think 1 tonight.
He hit one tonight.
Yeah. So it's like Judge had 2 last night and had 1 tonight. Trout was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's dance."
I think your brain is blocking out last night's game. Last night was 7-1. You talking about 2 nights ago where they went off and showed out.
Oh yeah. Was it 7? Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Monday night. Last night was.
I'm trying to forget last night.
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry. You know the
yeah.
internet be fact checking. I want you to be clean in these streets, man.
Yeah, man. I feel you,
Uh,
man.
the Mets and the Yankees are both 3-7 in their last 10 games. And I mean, Otani is on the mound today against the New York Mets, and he's boasting the 0 ERA. He hasn't given up a single run this year, and for my money, I would bet that would continue. The Mets have not been scoring at all. We were worried when they got rid of Jeff McNeil, when they got rid of Brandon Nimmo, who's hitting 2 home runs in a single game, like is going out of style. They got rid of Pete Alonso, who has not been, playing well this season so far for the Baltimore Orioles. But they got rid of a lot of powerful bats and a lot of talent. And the New York media is hyping up the Mets as hey, this is a squad. The GM knows what he's doing. He put together a squad. Well, they've been shut out more times than any other team in the MLB this season to start the year. They just can't score. And I understand that Juan Soto's been injured, but I mean, are we the New York Juan Sotos or are we the New York Mets? But I know what we are because I said it in our text group. We're not the New York Mets. We're the Steve Cohen Charity Foundation because everybody on that team should be thanking their lucky stars for charity of that man, Steve Cohen, for giving them a salary when they don't deserve one, when they don't deserve one at all, because they don't even show up to. We're talking about NBA players, not even like I need a rest day, not showing up to the game. The New York Mets have showed up to 3 out of the 17 games this year. How do you not even show up to the stadium? I don't understand. I think there's a lot of that going on. Mets are currently the last place team in their division. I don't see them getting anywhere. Maybe they get out of last place. They're not getting much further out of last place. and it's depressing already.
Dude, less than a month into the season. This is a theme with you, man. Less than a month into the season. Oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I understand with that 7 game loss streak, and I mean, Dave, man, you got to relax too a little bit. You guys are in the top 10 still.
Dave is fine.
I'm good, man. It's just like
Dave riding the wave.
it's just like this is me, bro. Every season, man, and it's what blows my mind the most is that the Yankees go through this lull, man. Like the first, 2 weeks, they're like excited to be playing. They bashing. New York is playing in the locker room or whatever, and then we hit it. We hit that lull. We find out the pitching is what we thought it was, right? And then for some reason the hitters decide, you know, the pitching staff is stinking up the field. Let's go ahead and join them, right? And then they'll do that. Then we're gonna get we'll get Garrett Cole back. I'm not even gonna talk about Rodon because Rodon is gonna come back with a pacifier in his mouth, and we'll get Garrett Cole back, and Garrett Cole will spark the team a little bit. They'll get hot and whatnot, and then Aaron Boone will find a way to screw that up. It's always Aaron Boone, man. It's just I don't know, man. It just drives me nuts. There's like the dude that didn't never coached at any level. He worked at ESPN and he was imitating batting stances on the Sunday night baseball show. Like that's where we got this dude from.
Nah,
Bro,
man,
I'll
that's
tell you,
Aaron bleeping Boone.
Yeah, man, he hit a
That's that's
Wakefield
that's a
ball.
Yankees legend,
Yeah,
man.
he hit a Wakefield ball out, man. Okay, good for him. Like what
Nobody
is
else was hitting that knuckler. He broke
bro,
one of the seats, man.
man, I
whatever?
tell you what, the only credit I give the New York Mets this season is they picked the perfect time to rebuild. They might as well start bringing up the youth. This is a perfect time to see what we got because it doesn't matter if we're good this year because the Los Angeles Dodgers are winning the whole thing. Who has the best record in the MLB this season? It's the LA Dodgers. It does not matter about anything else. The Dodgers are taking home yet another championship. We're all just here for the ride. And so this is the perfect time to rebuild, in my opinion, because the season is already over, folks.
For the record, I do not know this man. I do
Dave,
not know this man. I've never seen this man before a day in my life. There is no way in the world I'm conceding to the Dodgers, man. No way. We
might
still
as
got
well
time. We still
might as
got
well
time.
accept it, Dave. The
Nah,
sooner
man.
you accept it, the better
I'm
you'll
gonna
feel
hold
in
my
September, bro. Your heart won't be broken if you accept it early like me.
man. Nah,
So
man.
they're winning their division, no doubt, right? That feels like safe to say. But to say that they're going to go all the way, even this
Josh,
early,
nothing's safe to
All
say in the
the
middle of
way.
April. It is Jackie Robinson Day. The season is what, 3 weeks old? Relax,
I
man.
understand there's a
Relax.
lot of games.
See, it's Jackie Robinson Day. Even the MLB is celebrating the old Dodgers, just like they're going to be celebrating the new Dodgers at the end of the year. It's just symbolic. It's the writing on the wall. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It
Nah,
just is
man.
what it is, folks. It just is what it is.
There's seasons.
Uh,
There's seasons to
LA's got
this
to
shit.
have something to look forward to because right now their CEOs over in California begging people to come in there to give them tax breaks. So they need something else other than the LA Dodgers to help out Cali.
California is a whole mess, but that's besides the point. Dodgers are not a whole mess. But we'll see if Shohei Ohtani could keep his 0 ERA after today's game. I'm willing to bet that they will against the New York charity baseball team. Um, let's jump to the NHL while we still got a little bit of time left. Why don't you cue it up for Dave, Josh?
There we go.
Yeah, Dave, why don't you take this topic away? Sabres clinched the division.
Yeah, yeah. So congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres. They have finished with the best season that they've ever had in almost 20 years. So they are in the playoffs. They are the Atlantic Division champions, and I mean, what can we say, man? It's like I know Zeke. Is Zeke ain't really with cheering for the home for what we call the home team. You know what I'm saying? But we got the Amerks here. It's the baby Sabres, man. We got to be happy for them. Very happy for the Sabres. It's one of those things, man. When you think about where that team came from in December, okay, in December they were in last place, bro, and they've gone on to not only win the division, but they also, I said this before, they also racked up the most penalty minutes in a single game that I've ever seen in my life. I have that game DVR, boys, and if you guys ever want to see it, I can I can throw it on a USB stick for you and you can check it out. It is, if my wife watched it, you know it's entertaining, man. So, but anyway, shout out to the Sabres, man. I'm very happy for them. I hope that they could crank it up for the playoffs because I have never seen a sports or league have such an intense playoff season like the NHL does. Like when they kick off the first games, man, dudes are dropping gloves when they do face offs at the beginning of the game. Seconds into the game, they're fighting to set the tone of how their series is gonna go. So if you want some good entertainment, man, check it out. Check out some NHL playoff hockey starting next. I think it's actually starting this weekend. So yeah, regular season ends tonight. So that's all I
Interesting.
got.
All right. Was there anything else that we wanted to? I thought we had one more thing on the NHL, Josh.
That
Yeah,
was
we
Big
did.
Z.
Yeah, we'll walk away from that one. But
Okay, very good.
overall, Big Zeke has Ovi watch.
Yeah, Alex Ovechkin played in what could be his last game of his career. This is the final year of his contract. Um, he went out with a win. He went out with he made it on the score sheet. He got an assist on the go ahead goal. Ended up being the game winning goal. So now he's gonna take some time and talk it over with his family and the coaches and make a decision. But I know we ended last NHL season on OV Watch. We began this season on OV Watch, kind of watching his chase of 900 goals. Um, so yeah, if this is the end, hats off to a wonderful career. Um, Definitely on the Mount Rushmore of hockey players, in my opinion. I might not be as educated, considered educated enough by enthusiasts or hardcore hockey fans to have a Mount Rushmore, but when I think of hockey, it's hard to tell the story of hockey without talking about Ovi. So yeah, shout out to Ovi. And before we hit the music, shout out to AZ Fudd, uh, UConn superstar, just drafted number one overall in the WNBA. She gets reunited with Paige Beckers, who was her college teammate. They're in Dallas now. Um, yeah, looking forward to what kind of damage those two can do in the league. They have fun playing in UConn. Let's see what they can do in the league.
Yep.
And a big
It's
thumbs down in the Chicago Sky. I'm not feeling them right now, but we at the end of the show, so I'm not going to elaborate. But
Chicago
they bought,
sports is like burning on fire, like
Bad,
yeah,
in
yeah, they tweaking.
fuego.
bad.
So I hope everything bad that happens to
Oh
him
boy.
without
Music.
necessarily like injuring players. I don't want to see nobody get hurt, but I hope they lose every game.
Zeke said the entire Chicago Bulls city is punchable right now.
Yeah, the Bulls, the Bears, the Sky, the Cubs, the White Sox, they
The
can all
wind,
get these hands.
the
the
wind.
Bears are better than they've been in a long time, though.
The
Yeah,
bad news bears, or
Caleb
everybody can get
Caleb
it.
Smith is very, very sassy. I don't trust him.
Word.
Caleb Smith is like
And
the Karl Anthony Towns of the NBA.
Caleb Williams, yes, sir.
yeah, that's probably a
Caleb Williams,
fact.
that's why I mean Caleb Williams. See,
That
so sassy, I can't
you
remember his
said it
name.
exactly right, Zeke.
Bro, I think we're going to see a lot of that. Like they got a whole generation of like. Unfortunately, that young generation grew up in a very sus era. So we're gonna see a lot of that. This new generation though, they some dogs, man. This new generation coming up, they gonna be some dogs, but nah, not Caleb's generation. That was sus.
Yikes! Yikes!
Yeah. All right, that seems like a good enough spot to end the podcast.
Safe, safe.
Before we get canceled. Hit the button,
Yeah,
John.
that's right. That's right.
Cue the music.
The
Get that music.
last thing we ever say. Cue that music. Yeah, we appreciate you guys and make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week for more. Peace out from the Opps SportsCast. We'll see you next week.
Deuces. Happy
Later.
Jackie Robinson.
Deuce.
Go 42.